what I was able to recognize, just dealing with the various females that I've dealt with throughout my life, is that essentially every woman, without any exceptions, every woman is pretty much a child posing as an adult, right? In a society like this where they're given so many liberties, they're able to mask themselves as an adult, but they're really not, right? And it's not in their nature to be on a man's level, but in a system like this, it is forced, right? It is imposed upon the people in order to cause more confusion. And it doesn't matter the level of education or how intelligent a woman is or how so-called strong she may try to present herself as. Every female is a child in their nature, essentially. Any woman that you're dealing with, whether it be your own mother or someone that you may be dealing with intimately, right? And if you have the eye for it, if you're keen enough, if you're sharp enough, you will have certain situations where you're dealing with a particular woman, and you may see those childlike elements show forth, right? It may present itself in a certain situation, maybe how she might react or deal with a certain scenario. You could kind of see that bubbly, giddy-ish, immature, minor side of her present itself, right? Now, I can recall, I want to say in my late teens, still living with my mother. I have two younger sisters, right? And, they would be very rebellious to her, right? But not to me, right? They knew not to play that with me or their father, right? But he wasn't around too often, but they knew not to play that role with me, right? So I can recall in one situation, as much as, in this time frame, it seemed like my mother would have somewhat of a low-key disdain for me when it came to those to those little badass girls. She would have these moments where she would almost kind of present herself like one of them, right? And it was in one situation where something happened between the three of them, and they all came to me complaining, and they all sounded identical. And I'm like 19, 20. My mother's in her 40s. My little sisters weren't even teenagers yet. And the way that they're talking to me was like I was all their parent, right? Like the way that the childlike nature, like she seemed like a 10-year-old girl complaining to her father, but I'm her son. And when I seen this, I'm like, wow. I don't think she caught on to how this looked, but I'm like, wow, you're really just a child. Like, you're really just a child, no matter how, once again, no matter how grown they may try to present themselves to be. All women, all females, any chick that you've ever dealt with, they're all just children pretending to be adults, right? They get these jobs, they get the education, they're engrafted into mainstream society. They're allowed to seem and act grown. They're allowed to appear to be more like men, right? They have that penis envy thing, so they're allowed to appear to be more similar to men, but in reality, underneath it all, and they know this themselves, they're really all just children, right? They're really all just children. Anyway, peace.